Some time ago, there was a game called Trivial Pursuits. I mean, I never played it. I just remember the name of it. Are there things that we can pursue or chase after that are not necessarily evil in the normal sense of the word, but a waste of time, worthless?
Absolutely.
And how can we be sure that we're not wasting our time, that we're devoting our time to something that's more pursuit-worthy?
All right, so great question. And look, and this really has to do with something that most people don't ever do unless you're going into entrepreneurial endeavors or working for yourself in some manner, because then you will tend to be those who study things like setting goals. Okay, because the average person doesn't learn about setting goals. They just learn about getting a job or going to work, for an employer and all. But they don't understand the idea of setting goals. Unless you're in athletics or some other thing, again, where there's something that there's a goal to achieve, then you set goals. Teams and coaches will teach you to set goals. But the point that Rabbi Tom's bringing up is that if the goal is to be transformed into a Yeshua-like person, if the goal is to be hearing the words, well done, good and trustworthy servant, if the goal is to be entering into the kingdom, then everything you do should be asking the question, does this bring me towards my goal? The answer is no, it's trivial. Now, that's not to say that you can't have any fun and do trivial things, but the point is, how much time are you putting towards trivial things? If your goal is to have a great marriage, I remember hearing this, I think probably when I was single, but, the statistics I'm sure haven't changed very much about how the average husband and wife spends less than just a few hours a week even talking to each other. Okay? Well, how is that going to develop a good relationship if you really don't spend time interacting with each other? So if the goal is to have a great relation with your children, how much time do you spend with your children? Okay, if you're not putting the effort in and the time into your goal, you're not going to achieve it. It's not going to happen just because you want it to be that way. Well, I want a good marriage, okay, but you don't spend any time putting any effort into it. Well, I want a great relationship with my kids, but you don't put any time into it. Well, I want to have a great relationship with our Creator, but you don't, as Richard was saying, he caught himself not spending enough time in the Word. You can get caught up being Martha and doing lots of physical things. I'm not just saying that for the man, I'm just saying, but being caught up in tasks as opposed to balancing the whole thing. Tasks are all wonderful. You need to do them, but you need to have a balance too. And so it's a matter of the goal. If you're an Olympic athlete, your food that you eat, the amount of sleep, who you spend time with, what time you spend, and everything that you do is all going to be measured against, is it helping me get towards my goal? Okay? So if your goal is the kingdom, if your goal is a family relationship or a marriage relationship, whatever it is, then what effort are you putting into that goal? What about the goal of becoming a man or a woman as he intended it when he made you? See, society has all kinds of opinions on what that looks like. Cultures have all kinds of opinions. That just the fact that it's 2020 almost, there's an opinion versus if it was 1920 or 1820 or whatever, right? The opinion of what a man or a woman should be. What we need to know is, what did he have in mind? And that should be a goal, to become a man or woman as he intended it. And then when it comes to relationships, be a father or mother as he intended it. Husband or wife as he intended it. Member of the body as he intended it. Then you can ask yourself, is what I'm doing furthering that, or is it just a peripheral thing? Or worse, is it drawing me away from that? Okay, so it could be negative, neutral, or positive. Is it positively taking me in the right direction? Is it neutral and not really doing anything but except taking up time? Or is it negatively drawing me away from my goals? And it's evident, by the way, how much time you put in to the people around you. I don't remember who the famous quote is from, but somebody who was a famous performing artist, like I think it was either piano or violin or something like that, who said, if I miss a day practicing, I know it. If I miss 3 days of practicing, there are some that will know it. If I miss a week, everybody will know it. So again, if I don't continue to put the effort in, it will become obvious to others is the point. You don't put the effort into your wife or your husband. You don't put the effort into your children. You don't put the effort into your career. You don't put the effort into your vertical relationship with Messiah and with the Father. These things will become evident, and you have to find a balance because all of them need a certain amount of attention. There are those that will say, well, I'm doing everything right because I ignored my family and my spouse, and I'm focused only on Messiah. Well, that's not what he had in mind. But he doesn't want you to also focus all your attention on your family and not focus on him. He also doesn't want you to focus on your family and him and not go to work. Oh, balancing this thing is not easy. Okay? I recommend you schedule it. That way it will get done. Manage your time by planning family time, planning vertical time, study time, work time. Block things out. Otherwise, you're just randomly running around, going nowhere, heading nowhere, and doing nothing.